Hi guys and welcome back. So today I have something very special for you, and that is the freshly released Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the newly illustrated version by Carl James Mountford. We are going to take a deep dive into it. We are going to look at each individual page that has some illustrations. So I'm going to do a full flip through of the book so that you can experience with me what this designer, what this illustrator has done for the fourth installment of the Harry Potter series, the illustrated series. So let's get straight into it. Let's look at the book. All right, guys, so here we have the front cover of the book. We have a beautiful scene at the Quidditch World Cup with Ron, Harry and Hermione. And we of course have here the dark mark as caused by Barty Crouch Jr. Beautiful coloring. Then maybe I'll show you the back part as well quickly. Not that much going on here, nothing too special, but it fits very well. Also here the bind. It's kind of close here, but I'm sure you can see it well. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, let's go through it. Let's have a little bit of a flip through, see what's interesting to see. I'm not gonna, explain everything, but I'll just want you guys to be able to see and kind of experience this book as well, because it is quite expensive. So you can just see how much thought have been put into every little detail here with the contents. This beautiful first artwork here from the Riddle House on chapter 1. Go through a little bit faster here. Let's see here, of course, we have the scene where Voldemort is sitting in the chair. And then we have Harry waking up as if seemingly from a dream with his scar hurting. Harry in his room, of course, here. Thinking about Quidditch, as always, Quidditch World Cup. Not too much here. This is very funny. This is a funny little image here. That's amazing. A lot of letters. The invitation. We have some goodies here, some sweets. And then here, that's also what I always like in these kind of illustrated editions, that they change the font based on, like, if it's a letter, if it's something special, or a list of items, stuff like that. Also here, like the little bit ornaments here, like in the corners that we always have. That's beautiful. Here we have a letter to Mr. and Mrs. Dursley. Obviously, all the stamps put on it by Arthur Weasley, because he doesn't understand Muggle things. The owls here. Harry and Ron exchanging letters, them back at the Burrow, of course, where they are trying to get him and pick him up. The Dursleys are worried about how this is going to happen. Of course, they arrive by the Flu Network and mess up the whole house of the Dursleys. Let's go through a little bit faster here. Here we're back at the Burrow, of course, which I've always loved a lot. And this is the first introduction of Weasley's Wizard Weasleys, actually. The twins starting their entrepreneur path. We have Crookshanks chasing after some gnomes, some garden gnomes. The beautiful feast or dinner or lunch scene that we have in the garden at the Weasleys. I've always loved that scene. Then we have the port key, how they get to the World Championship, Quidditch World Championship, right? We have some tents here, the tent ground, camping ground. And then we have our first little interactive feature here. So this is the tent, of course, that kind of folds open up to reveal that there's much more space within it. Not enough space here in my shot though, but you can clearly see what the intention here was. Again, absolutely beautiful. I love it. And it's not just that you can only fold it up, open completely. You can like do this half folds and then fold it this way. And there's always something new to like experience and see. I like that a lot. Yeah. Then we have Crumb. He looks angry here. Oh my god. He looks very, very angry here. Luther Bagman, of course. Yeah, not too much in here drawings. Okay, we have a little bit here. And then the World Cup. Wow, this scene is beautiful. Also, in the movies, I always thought that the scene where they start the Quidditch World Cup, that looks absolutely amazing, and I would always have loved to see the full match play out on the big screen. Unfortunately, they only showed the intro of the match there. We have probably Winky we had there. And then here we have them playing out the Quidditch World Cup finals. Of course, Crumb catching the snitch, but losing the final. Then we have Death Eaters here showing up and messing up the party for everybody. And then we already have our next interactive feature here. So I'm guessing this is the Dark Mark. Yeah, this looks stunning. I absolutely love this. Look at these colors and the design. This is really, really cool. I love this. What do you think, guys? Is that good? And then let's go on here. Quick. We have Ron sleeping. That's great. Ochin's Old Fire Whiskey, Mayhem at the Ministry, of course, the aftermath of the whole situation at the World Cup. We have the beautiful Weasley clock that shows where everybody is. So here everybody is at home, except for Arthur. He's still at work because he has to work overtime after what happened. And then here we have this beautiful little scene from Platform 3/4. And I believe that actually looks very similar to an illustration on the first book, I believe. Let me actually quickly get that to see. Wait, I really want to show that. I actually found it. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that just very uncanny? It's a very, very, very similar design. It's a very similar way of illustrating this kind of wizarding world. Carl James Manford's looks a bit modern, a little bit less soft, and a little bit more edgy, more edges. MinaLima's was a little bit more softer, smoother, a little bit more playful illustration, I would say. But all in all, it kind of matches very well. So I just, looking at this picture here with this illustration, it just suddenly came to my mind. There's a similar one in the first book, which is great that we get this comparison here. That's absolutely amazing. Look at this. All right. Let's continue on with the new book. As amazing as book one is, but let's continue on with this one. Of course, Draco is looking weird here. Don't you guys think? That doesn't look very much like Draco to me, to be honest. I don't like that character design. The Triwizard Tournament, we have the Sorting Hat here, of course. We have Moody arriving. Let me just... anything interesting here? Students just doing student stuff, the unforgivable curses of Avada Kedavra that they learn for the first time here. Then we have the other schools arriving, Beauxbaton and Durmstrang for the Triwizard Tournament. A beautiful illustration of Harry and Hedwig, of course. Yeah, I mean the character models. To be honest, the character design looks different than in book 1, 2, 3. It is more edgy. We have the carriage here arriving, of course, flying carriage from Beauxbaton, and then we have another interactive feature here, I believe. So this is, I would assume, Durmstrang boat arriving, ship arriving. Yes, it absolutely is. Beautiful. I love it. The Goblet of Fire. Let's see. And you really need to take time to look at all these illustrations, which currently I just am not doing. Otherwise, we would have like a 3-hour video here. But there's just so much to see here, right? We have the next play feature here that spits out the Goblet of Fire, spitting out Harry Potter's name, of course, something that it isn't supposed to be doing, which is basically the main issue that is in this book, right? For what I also like is here, like the back part of this interactive feature, play feature, is also another illustration. I think in the older books, in the 1, 2, 3, often this is like kind of empty lost space, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. The weighing of the wands, of course. That's a great picture of Hedwig here. Great illustration. I'm really not liking that. Is that... I mean, this is Malfoy, right? Yeah, it says Cedric Diggory here, but this is Malfoy. I'm not liking the Malfoy design here. I am liking the Snape design. That looks cool. That looks really good. Rita Creamcorn, I hate her. Let's see. Harry here being a little bit by himself because he's fighting with Ron, arguing with Ron. Then here, of course, he discovers that the first task actually has to do with dragons, real-life dragons. Him talking to Sirius in the fire here, in the this looks beautiful. This how he made like Sirius appearance here in the flames. That looks really good. That looks a lot better than how they did it with CGI in the movie. We have, what do we have here? Let me see. We have the next interactive feature here. So what is this doing? Oh, this is when they draw who has to fight against which dragon. And of course, Harry is getting the most dangerous one, which I'm assuming, which is it this? The Hungarian Horntail is the one that he's getting, right? But it doesn't look correct in color. Maybe it's this one, but this one looks more dangerous. I'm not quite sure. What do you guys think? Which one is Harry's? I guess we could figure it out by the numbers, but I'm not going to do that right now. Let's close that up. And then, well, we have him here fighting the dragon, trying to capture his egg. Great. Wonderful, wonderful artworks here. Hermione, of course, fighting for the House Elves. Yes, House Elf Liberation Front here. Beautiful picture in, I guess, the kitchens where where Harry realized that Dobby is now working at Hogwarts and actually earning some money, and he's very proud of that, which is great. But Winky is drunk and doesn't like to work for Hogwarts. We have him here talking to Cho Chang. Maybe he's asking her out here to go to the Yule Ball, but she's going with Cedric. Yeah, the Yule Ball here. Wow, this is Hogwarts in winter. Look at this. That's so beautiful, this design. But it is more edgy. Again, you can see like the rough shapes, the edgy corners in his illustration. So it does feel different, actually. Of course, the big party there in the end, Yule Ball. We have Snape and Karkaroff. Dumbledore's chime mistake. This looks really cool because this is a cutout from the paper, from the newspaper, right? So this is really cool here. That again here, like, is until here. There's like 2 pages. That's so cool. Hagrid, wonderful picture of Hagrid here. The egg and the eye. So here Harry is going to the prefect's bathroom to try and figure out the situation with his egg, the clue for the second task. That was Snape in a nightgown before, right? That I just flipped over, yeah. Let me see, what else do we get here? Because I don't want this to be too long. So we have Harry in the second task here. And then this is the one that I've read about. So this is, wow, this is showing. Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. There's a lot of different scenes here at the same time and illustrations. Oh, we have Crumb here with his shark head. That's really cool. And then we have Diggory with the breathing bubble around him. So they all find different solutions in how to breathe and survive underwater. Dumbledore talking to the what are they called? The mer people, figuring out what happened underwater. Padfoot returns. So here they go up and find Padfoot. Sirius, of course, gets some interaction with him, which never happens in the movies, unfortunately. Madness of Mr. Crouch. This feels a little bit empty, don't you guys think? For like a new chapter, this feels a little bit lazy, I would say. I mean, this book is like $90 US, so we have a Niffler here. I'm pretty sure that design mainly came from the Fantastic Beasts, right? I don't think we had that design before of the Nifflers. We have the gargoyle that leads up to Dumbledore's office here. The dream, not quite sure what this scene is that we see here. Probably at the Owlery. I don't really know what this is about. Maybe divination class here. Yeah, where they are, where he finds out about the prophecy. Yeah. The pensive. Okay, Harry's first experience with the pensive. Okay, let's see. A little bit of empty pages here. Not too much illustrations in between here. We have Draco again. Harry Potter disturbed and dangerous. Oh my god. Which weekly? Then here, this is the maze, of course, for the last tournament. Oh, now I actually realize what the back part here is supposed. This is the maze, right? This is the maze here on the bind of the book. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. I didn't realize what this was about before when I just looked at the outside of the book. So we have him here doing a Patronus charm, of course, against the Dementors. We have the Sphinx here. That is very cool. That is something that was left out in the movies. He has this like riddle for Harry to be able to pass, because same as like in the first book, it is assumed that many wizards don't really know anything about logic. So for them it's very difficult to pass these riddles. Then we have maybe the last interactive feature here, I'm not sure. So we have the labyrinth here, the maze. I'm pretty sure there's like something behind these doors here, right? Let me just carefully open that up. Yeah. So there's like that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep door number 2, 3, and 4 as a secret for you guys to experience and explore. You have them both, Cedric and Harry, grabbing the cup, the Triwizard Cup, and then landing at the salmon tree where they need to face and fight Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort. This is a great illustration here. I love that. Absolutely amazing. Stunning. We have Voldemort coming back to the living with his own new body. That looks really creepy. Oh my god. That Voldemort illustration. Yeah, a lot of white space here. Not really a fan of that. I don't think there's that much white space in book 1, 2, 3. Again, I assume that was made just to keep the book not a little bit thinner, because it's just such a long book already. So we have another interactive feature here. This is probably the Priori Incantatem. So you see Harry basically, and Voldemort fighting this out. This is a really, really cool interaction here. That's amazing, with like all the Death Eaters in the back there, and then the kind of curses hit each other here. Cool, cool. I love it. And then here, of course, returning with a dead Cedric back at Hogwarts. Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Snape to the help, to the rescue. The parting of the ways. Okay. Harry with the Phoenix here. Okay, Harry is usually again in the hospital wing where he spends most of his childhood or teenhood. Let's see. I mean, this here before was like because Snape realizes that his mark hurts again, so they realize here that Voldemort is back. They are pretty sure of it now. Which is not to say that they didn't believe Harry, but this is basically proof for them now. The beginning, okay, here we have them going to the last dinner, I guess, before they return back after the year in Hogwarts. Hermione saying goodbye to Viktor Krum, and then back in the Hogwarts Express, of course, to return to the Muggle world. That's Rita here, having not a very good time with Hermione. There's some coins here, not quite sure where this is coming from. This is probably about Harry giving the money to George and Fred that he won at the Triwizard Tournament, because he didn't really want the money because it's also supposed to be like part Cedric's, and Cedric died, and Fred and George really need the money to start like their business because Ludo Bagman scammed them out of all of their money. And then here, of course, at the end we have some information about J.K. Rowling, the author of these wonderful books, the illustrator called James Mumford, who did a really, really great job here, I think. And of course, he also he has a team. There's a graphic designer. Headcase Design is the design studio, I guess. So yeah, it seems to be a group effort, and not only by Call James Mumford, which I was not aware of. And then here, very last illustration we have is the boot that transported them as a portkey to the to the Quidditch World Cup. Yep. And that's it, guys. This is the brand new Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the illustrated edition by Carl James Mumford. Let me put that next to the first book here, so you can decide for yourself, does it fit or does it not fit into the series? Is it the same design? Is it not the same design? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I have my opinion, and there's a lot of different opinions out there. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this book? Are you going to get it? Or are you going to wait and see if they actually do the full series or not? And yeah, that's basically it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.